The false fulfillment of Ezekiel 38:39. Be Alert reader Lydia Kraft asks,
Is there a specific place in Scripture I can point people to that shows this false fulfillment of Ezekiel 38:39? I do believe that there will be false signs and wonders and miracles that accompany the false Messiah, as Scripture says. It seems like most people who believe in pre-trib rapture also believe the Gog-Magog war happens before the tribulation period, which is concerning.
For new followers of this page, the notion of a false fulfillment of Scripture must seem puzzling, to say the very least. Please stick with me. I'm aware that many prophecy teachers have been teaching for quite some time that the Gog and Magog war of Ezekiel 38:39 occurs prior to the tribulation, a term I am not fond of, as it's an inaccurate way to describe this entire 7-year period. In my estimation, this view of a pre-tribulational fulfillment of Ezekiel 38:39 is one of the most damaging and inaccurate teachings that sprung up in mainstream Christianity. Anyone who is uncertain of the timing of this major war should list all of the judgments and outcomes of the Ezekiel war and compare that list to the many Day of the Lord prophecies. The inescapable conclusion that a true Berean must make is that the two wars are the same. Therefore, it's literally impossible for this war to occur pre-tribulationally. Rabbinic Judaism doesn't dwell much on the details of this war, other than to say that it occurs immediately prior to the advent of Moshiach, Messiah. Some streams of Judaism teach there will be two Messiahs, Moshiach ben Yosef and Moshiach ben David. Others maintain there will be only one, Moshiach ben David. While Judaism is not a monolith on the subject of how many Messiahs there will be, there is general agreement that the Gog-Magog war precedes his arrival. As I've written many times here on this page, in this they are correct. They just don't know who they're waiting for. Rabbinic Judaism waits for the first arrival of Moshiach. We who follow the way await his second coming. But at the second coming, the war Ezekiel described will be fulfilled. However, this belief about the timing of Ezekiel's war serves as a major guidepost within Jewish eschatology, and as such, it will be considered a sign to unbelieving Jews that Moshiach is ready to arrive. We need to realize that the dragon will exploit this expectation for his own purposes, to raise up his son, the Antichrist. At 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 9, Paul tells us that the Antichrist will appear following a series of signs and false wonders. I've read many prognostications about what those signs will be, and they range from the fantastical to the absurd. If you want to know exactly what the signs and false wonders are, all you have to do is understand what unbelieving Israel has been taught by the rabbis to watch out for. And in this case, as I've explained, the Gog-Magog war is without any doubt whatsoever a sign that Moshiach is at the door. But as the true fulfillment cannot be pre-tribulational, what war will occur? The answer is pretty straightforward. A war which appears to fulfill the Gog-Magog war, but which does not in actuality. That war is the Daniel 7:7 war, which permits the Antichrist to rise. Daniel 7, verse 8. New followers of this page are strongly urged to go to the photo section and read all 3 parts of our teaching, which uses Scripture alone to prove to you the identities of all 10 horns of the beast, as it's those horns plus Israel which will fight in the Daniel 7:7 war, most probably against Iran and its terror proxies, with significant aid from Russia. In other words, all of the parties listed in the prophecy will be present. After the true Gog-Magog war is over, the prophet tells us that the house of Israel will know that I am Adonai, their God, from that day onward. Ezekiel 39, verse 22. After the false fulfillment of the Ezekiel war, a false Messiah will appear and will seek to take the glory and worship that only one who's sent by God should expect. But in that day, unbelieving Israel will truly believe that the victory resulting from the Daniel 7:7 war was a miracle from God, and that the false Messiah is proof of God's presence among them. After this war, Revelation 13:4 quotes people who are in turn quoting the Song of Moses in Israel in Exodus 15. This is very important. Just as Moses, a type of Moshiach, lead the people to salvation despite an existential crisis, so too will the Antichrist appear to have saved Israel from a similar existential crisis. In actuality, it's the adversary who accomplished this miracle, which is why Revelation 13 draws an equivalence between praise for the beast's victory and worship. One other thing to keep in mind, the rabbinic tradition is that the Exodus story as a whole is a foreshadow of the final redemption. In the days before my ancestors left Egypt, there were false signs and miracles from Egyptian sorcerers. The Talmud records even more than what's described in Scripture. Whether these recordings are factual, metaphorical, or fantastical is debatable. There were also true signs and miracles during the days before the Exodus. And again, the Talmud suggests more happened than what is recorded in Scripture. However, unbelieving Israel will not have the wisdom to see the difference between true and false, and will confuse what is false for what is true. What appears to be miracles and signs from God are, in actuality, produced by the dragon as he seeks to give legitimacy to his son, the Antichrist. If any of you have any questions on this topic, please feel free to ask them in the comments section below. As always, be alert.